Yalova needs 8 for a title. Bang!
There's the emotion.
There it is.
Boom! Jordan Richard.
Champion again.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Smyrna Bowling Center for the first stepladder of the week. It's the PWBA Classic Series Nashville from Smyrna Bowling Center inside Smyrna, Tennessee. Emil Williams Jr. along with Sidney Brummett and Sid. It is a 1 through 5. A lot of storylines, of course, but none other than Sherry Tan looking to go wire to wire for the 5th time in her career. Sid, she's got 4 wins, all of them coming from the #1 seed. There's always the talk about which seed would you rather be, and it's pretty clear which seed Sherry Tan would rather be in this scenario.
Yeah, there's no doubt. When you're on the left side of the lane, the less time that people spend on it, the better off it is for Sherry. So I'm excited to see what she brings to the table tonight.
Sherry Tan is your #1 seed. Your #2 seed is the player the last time we were here inside this bowling center captured her very first title, and that is none other than Verity Cawley. Here she is again. She almost gave Sherry Tan a run late, but Sherry said, I'm going to handle my business in Game 5, and then took care of business, of course, in the position round. But Verity, a couple of matches away from getting back to the title match, of course, and then potentially defending a title, even though it's been a few years since we talked about this a little bit earlier. Now the time has come. She's been focusing only on the win, and that time is now.
Yeah, absolutely. There's something about going to, bowling centers that your ball rolls well in. Verity loves this place. The people love her. The building loves her. The pins certainly do. And we can't wait to see how much fun she has. She's been joyful to watch this week. I hope she continues that.
She has, and her fans have been joyful as well. They've been here rooting Verity on. The #3 seed tonight is Jane Sin after a break from the PWBA Tour, coming back for the first time since 2019 at the Rockford Open. She won that event, and here she is again with an opportunity to take home another PWBA title. Last week, she just missed the show at the Queen. She finished 6th. Jane Sin, what does she have to do tonight, Sid, to be successful?
Continue the momentum. It's that simple for her. She just has to stick to her game plan and enjoy the road.
Our opening match, folks, features the #4 seed, Shannon Pluhowsky, who won the Twin Cities Open, presented by Go Bowling, our first title, or season opening event, I should say. And then the #5 seed is Lauren Russo, formerly Lauren Pate. In fact, the last time she made a show, she was still Lauren Pate. This is her second career stepladder finals. 2 individuals who are great friends off the lanes. The opportunity is here for Lauren Russo to snag her first title, but she's got to go through one of the best lefties to ever do it, in Shannon Pluhowsky. We'll take you out to the lanes. Lauren Russo will get us started. Great shot. This 45-foot lane condition is what's in play. It's been a defined area, right, regarding where to play. Sid, take us through this lane condition.
Yeah, we're bowling on 45 feet, reverse brush drop of 40 feet, 26 mils of oil, so not a ton. And it is on terrain, so it wants to move around quite a bit. But we couldn't necessarily move our feet to the left as right-handed people. We had to find a way to stay in that zone to the right of the dark blue oil that you see in order to have any type of hold.
Both players starting with strikes. Shannon Pluhowsky, the 41-year-old lefty, already with, of course, three titles career-wise, but 1 already this season from Dayton, Ohio. This is her 22nd championship round appearance since 2015. Just a good look at the crowd here. And there's a nice look at Chase Kaufman. Hi, Chase. Good look at Pluhowsky there. Left side. 2 lefties on the show tonight. And that one was high the whole way, 2-4, but something makeable, of course.
Yeah, hooked immediately off of Shannon's hand. Grateful that there's not a circle on the board. All right, something she can make.
There's the replay. You see it slice right through the head pin. Look out. All right. That one stuck just a little bit. So got an interesting angle. Of course, we're able to watch the monitor, but also kind of got a bird's eye view as the players bowl and compete on 37 and as they walk off the approach. So facial expressions, body language are definitely in play for us here tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Lauren Russo from Maryville University, the head coach. Back-to-back Division II NTCA Coach of the Year. Bang! Starting out with the Radical Conspiracy Black HK22. Early 10-pin advantage. It's a level view.
Loving the replay there. It gives us a great sight of watching Lauren's ball make its transition throughout that lane pattern.
Russo talked about just being in tempo. Good tempo and execute good shots. And Sid, I actually think you talked about that for Lauren specifically as she leaves a 4-pin.
Yeah, for Lauren, it's kind of staying within herself. You don't want to get too slow or too quick. She gets that one to the right a tad bit early, which is what causes it to overhook.
Five-time Team USA member, our current member. And will handle the 4-pin with ease. This has been a high-scoring week, folks. So we expect that to continue here. To get to the top 12, you needed to average 223. Daria Payok was 12th after sneaking to the cut last night. As Pluhowsky steps up, that's a good view there. See Pluhowsky almost nestled up against that ball return. Really good shot there. Some excellent applause, too. Just out of reach.
I really wish that's what it sounded like when I left the wrap 10. That'd be awesome.
Quality spare.
Interesting note about Shannon, she does not switch to a plastic ball like most of the women on tour or even urethane. She just kind of uses whatever she wants. Today, it's a ball that has a rating of 7.0, according to her tour team. A Cypher. Quite the spare ball. But on her first ball, she's choosing to use the Deviate Hater.
This week, you knew that one was going to hook. Shannon just trying to keep it simple. Tonight, her approach on step ladders, of course, in shows, be simple, have fun, throw the 10 best shots you can. As Lauren Russo steps up, leading by 10. Husband Matt in attendance. By the way, Mr. and Mrs. Pate, your daughter says hello. She told me to tell you that. Nice shot.
Most people would think, oh, you're bowling on 45 feet, you're going to have to get pretty far left pretty quickly. And that's not how this oil pattern is designed. It funnels us all to the right.
Pin lead for Russo. She too, right? Had to play around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was in play. How you did it was the question. And she did it just like that a lot today. Couple of 260 games round 2 tonight, or I should say earlier this afternoon. In fact, back-to-back 267, 268. She also had 260 this morning.
Yeah, I actually loved when Lauren got put into the 4-5 seed here because she got to have a little bit more time with the lanes. As she worked through transition, it was not the easiest thing for her. So to be familiar with a pair and know exactly what her ball is going to do was going to be key for Lauren to get a win today.
Yeah, she actually said almost that very thing, said feeling good about where she is. She has more control. She felt like she would have more control over what's going to happen and how the lanes would break down or certainly play. And, of course, opening with a lefty. Here's Pluhowsky. No love on the 8-pin.
Little frustration there from Shannon. We saw that in the second block of match play today. It's her shot making not quite being what she wants it to be.
The quality pitch for Pluhowsky. Another quality spare here. But against Lauren Russo, again, who's had the tendency today to drop 260s like they're going out of style. She's on that path again to open up our stepladder finals here tonight. HK22, again, the Conspiracy Black Widow Ghost 2.0 hybrid in the bag, potentially for the stepladder finals for Lauren. Oh, that's got to peel, and it does.
Yeah, it's never really a question of like, is that gonna hook? Is it gonna hook too much? And the way that you combated it hooking too much was simply choosing a ball that was slow enough off of it. So Lauren choosing to be in a giant ASIM allows her to be able to get away with throwing it right a tad bit early and not having it overhook.
Now, is this giant ASIM a gentle giant or is it a mean giant? Like, where do we fall in our giant?
Well, according to the pins, I would say kind of mean.
All right, I'm with it.
Like, did you see that? Yeah, the slap on the 10. That's not very kind or gentle.
That was mean indeed.
Nothing gentle about that.
Great shots. And now Pluhowsky steps up trailing by 31. The number of shells, Shannon third on the points list through the first portion of the season. And she gets the 7 out. Going to need some help at some point here from Lauren Russo as we get later into this one. Max score 248, low level look. Sees Shannon planting. Staple, of course, for the long-time member of Team USA, future Hall of Famer. 24 consecutive years representing the United States in international competition. Needs a double. Bang.
That's how Shannon wants to execute the shots that she's throwing. You know, it's normal for players out here to get a tad bit frustrated when we don't throw it how we want to, simply because we understand the caliber of player that we are. We have high expectations of ourselves.
It's been a very good pace to this opening match, and we knew it would be pretty quick just from the striking perspective. But of course, Pluhowsky's also bowling, so it's like times 10. Russo looking to keep striking. And no! There it is. And that gives a smile. Face of Lauren Russo. We talked about messengers earlier, Sid.
We sure did. This building, we can get a lot of them on the women's side of things, especially when we're playing to the right. Lauren gets a slow roll there on the 10 pin. I would have loved to see her get a little bit more excited about that one. Typically during qualifying or even match play, she's one to get pretty excited about when the pins are flying around. That's
Could
another
get
good
excited
shot.
about that one right there. What'd you see there, Sid?
Looked like she made a move just out of caution. You know, you'd rather 2-pin than big 4. So slight move for her there. But I think Lauren could be just settling down the nerves a little bit. You know, we're not going to have our natural responses that we would typically during qualifying when we're just trying to keep our feet underneath us. And so to get through this first match, hopefully versus Shannon, she'll be able to celebrate those fun hits a little bit more in the next match.
Well, Pluhowsky's got a chance to apply all the pressure. Max score is 248. Trailing by 30. Must strike here. Did not like it, you can tell. Was to put all of the pressure, certainly, and give herself an opportunity in the 10th frame. Here it is.
Yeah, just more around that one than she wanted to be. Had to get the ball to pick up early enough for it to hook in shape, especially on the left side of the lane because there wasn't a ton of traffic. And they're cliffed on both sides of the lanes. There's distinct hook and distinct hold. And on the left side, it stays distinct much longer than it does on the right.
And there you have it, folks. This one is in the books. Lauren Russo is going to advance. Is going to face our number 3 seed tonight, Jane Sin. Rockford Open champion. The 6th place finisher at the most recent or first major of the season at the USBC Queens. I mentioned Lauren's first championship round appearance or stepladder finals appearance. That was last year at the Grand Rapids Classic. That was the Grand Rapids Classic Series. Pluhowsky, finishes with 212. Lauren was the number 3 seed on that show last year. It also was the first event of the Classic Series, just like this one, on a similar pattern, especially in length, 44 feet last year at that Grand Rapids Classic.
Yeah, lots of defined hold last year as well. Just in a different part of the lane. It was left of the track. We're here. We're right of it. However, similar angles. Similar bowling balls, more than likely. The rack wants to see if Lauren can strike without the 6 pin. For those of you at home, it's a good drill to do if you're having trouble carrying the 10 pin. Take the 6 pin out of your rack if your bowling center will let you. See if you can strike without it. You shouldn't need it.
What do you expect to see from Lauren here in these next couple of shots, say that she prepares for Jane Sin?
There was a lot of surface preparation happening with her Black Widow Ghost and the 2.0 hybrid that you just saw go down the lane. I would expect to see her throw one, if not both of those here, just to get some oil on them. I don't think she threw them after they were hit with surface.
One more look at the arsenal. for Russo. Fill shot upcoming. All right. Quality bowling from both. 258, 212. Lauren Russo defeats Shannon Pluhowsky.
Bring our remaining finalists over for some shots on a championship pair, but we do have a special presentation for Ms. Pluhowsky.
All right, folks, again, 258, 212. Lauren Russo will advance. She will face Jane Sin. First, a word from a proud gold partner in Kegel. And then on the other side, our first bowling ball giveaway of the night. That's coming up next here on Bowl TV. Well, Lauren Russo just won. And we saw her toss a Black Widow, of course made by Hammer, Sydney Brummett, in the 10th frame. Well, you could have your own Hammer Black Widow 2.0 because it is now time for our first bowling ball giveaway, courtesy of Hammer. So if you are watching in full screen mode, please exit out of full screen so you can see the lower third prompts just below or right on top of the video screen left side there. You can see it on both desktop and, of course, mobile. So again, get out of full screen if you are. We don't want you to miss out on the opportunity to get your own Black Widow 2.0 or other piece of equipment, again, courtesy of Hammer. The full giveaway will begin in just a little bit. Watch the countdown, and when you are prompted, you will need to simply click Submit Entry. Again, simply click Submit Entry as we take a look at our number 1 and number 2 seeds. Here, Sherry Tan as well as Verity Crawley getting a few shots, of course, on the stepladder pair before they move away, and then Jane Sin will have the pair, of course, all to her lonesome and get her practice shots as she gets ready to face Lauren Russo. Early thoughts, again, just as we watch Sherry and Verity, Sid, what can you take away just from the couple of shots they do get in between matches here?
Yeah, for Sherry, it's going to be, okay, what did Shannon just do to the lane? I got to understand how my oil moved around. Did we shift it at all? This pattern is symmetrical on both sides of the lane, so the transition that's happened in that first match is what the right-handed people will see through this first match as well. So Sherry just needs to get comfortable in what she'd like to see in our final match tonight.
And a winner. Oh, we've got a Larry. But it's not Larry H. It's not Larry L. It's just Larry. Congratulations, Larry. You got yourself a Hammer bowling ball. Shout out to Larry, and thanks to Hammer, certainly. And the marketing squad, of course, will be sending you an email. Be on the lookout for it to get you all of the details they need and everything necessary. All right, now we focus in on Lee Jane Sin of Malaysia. I mentioned Jane Sin and the ability to just come right back out on tour and immediately win. And it literally happened in her first event since 2019 on tour. Now she is looking for title number 2 this season. It would be title number 3 overall. And Sid, as we watch her, of course, she's going to be right, obviously, for Jane, simply about ball choice. This one looks very familiar to us.
Yeah, it does. And she actually has a similar strategy to that of Lauren in using a bigger asymmetric piece. It's not a surprise there. It's kind of her bread and butter. We saw her do that in Rockford, and now we're seeing it here again. in Nashville, Smyrna, Tennessee.
You see Team Storm right there. Rob Gottschall, Steve Jacobs. Del Ballard Jr. has been in the building this week as well. A little additional prep as we get you prepared, and you got an opportunity to get some points momentarily. What you got in this match coming up, folks?
Are we doing a poll?
I think there could be a poll.
I love a good poll.
And there it is.
Okay.
A poll with Larry, who won a hammer bowling ball. Again, Lauren Russo will face Jane Sin, our number 2 seed, Verity Crawley, the last player to win here at Smyrna Bowling Center in 2021. It's the last time the tour was here. And essentially looking to defend that title, the number 1 seed, Sherry Tan. Still ways to go before we get to that point. Feverish engagement with this poll. I'm so anxious now to see what the results are going to be. I got to tell you, obviously watching what Lauren just did, missing twice, 258. But you know, Jane Sin, as you just said, Sydney Brummett, going to be right there. There's going to be some transition from that aspect as well that Lauren is going to face. And, of course, Jane will experience that as well. But her game, as we talked about, so simple. Her process, as she's told us, so simple. And she is now, of course, I think, talking with Robin. She's going to, looks like she's going to allow Lauren to begin, but we'll finalize that here in just a second.
If she did, I think that's an interesting move. And it must solely be offense, because Lauren was 7 for 7 on that right lane in our opening match.
Like I said, it looks like Jane is going to start the match.
All right, bowling fans, here we go. The second match of the evening. Looks like Lee Jane's going to get us started. Who is dancing?
All right, Jane Sin has chosen to, she will start. She had the opportunity to decide as the higher seed. I missed the results. Did we run those results? Oh, no worries. We'll get there. I know you're not on there, bro.
It's okay. A couple weeks ago, I was talking to myself for a minute. We just be out here talking to
Yeah, every now and then it's okay.
our voices in our heads. It's okay.
Opening shot for Jane Sin. That was probably, if you were to just rank her shots, just that, I'm just going to chalk that one up as just the first one out the gate.
Yeah, I've bowled next to her for all 12 games in Rockford, and then all 12 games yesterday. And there's about 2 mistakes she makes. She'll either miss left, like she'll tug it, and she'll go a little bit high. But don't worry, she'll only leave a 3-pin. And then she might whiff it off her hand a little bit, but don't worry, she'll only leave a 2-pin. And that's about it. That's as exciting as it gets.
Well, I tell you, I'd love to be in that position, to have that opportunity. All right, there's your poll results. Lauren Russo taking 70% of the vote. Russo high on everyone's list of players who are ready to win their first title. Could it be tonight for Lauren Russo? Continuing 6 into the 10, which starts to match number 2. Lauren Russo We talk about perfection, and there's been a couple of perfect games. Eight of 8. That's impressive. On the right lane specifically.
This left lane has a more defined friction spot in the body of the lane. So what I mean by that is you can see a lighter reflection in the middle part of the lane in your view, and the ball wants to start to change directions before that on just this left lane. Another way to say that, doesn't want to get through the middle part of the lane as easily. So the only shots Lauren's missed are when she got it there early on this left lane, and that one it hooked early and kind of rolled out.
What does Lauren have to see at this point, Sid, for her to then go to the, if we assume it's the 2.0 hybrid that we saw her throw in the film?
Mm-hmm. I would say the first thing is to just make a parallel move left. See what the ball does, and then transition from there.
All of a sudden, the lights on here. We know for Jane Sin, it's a simple situation, but obviously looking pretty darn good as prior to the start of this match. And 2 shots, they kind of looked identical to one another to start this match for her.
Yeah, the first one was definitely missed off of her hand, and then the one on the right, I think on her way back, she said it's too fast. Whether that means the ball is too fast or she was too fast is debatable, because I can't read her mind. But I would agree with her for her style. Maybe a little firm.
A couple of early spares for Jane Sin. We'll look at that arsenal one more time. Again, Eternity Pie. She's in the Magic Gym. Ion Pro, and of course an Attention Star. Looking for her first strike. Third frame. Best shot certainly of the 3, and then she wraps a 10-pin.
Much better shot off of her hand on the left lane. Overall, this one that you just say, I'm going to come back to this left lane, I'm going to do that again. I'll take my chances.
Obviously a good shot overall, and so for Jane Sin, business as usual. Take care of the makeables. She will do just that. Look at the prize fund here this week at the Nashville Classic. Again, 3 events during this series. Winner tonight will receive $10,000. Runner-up will get $5K. 4 for third, $2,500 for fourth, and $2,000 for fifth. Paid all the way to 32nd. Similar situation for the start of the Bowl TV Classic tomorrow. And then we get up to $20K for first place during the Music City Classic, which is the 3rd event. Uh-oh. It could be time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ball doesn't want to store enough energy. You got a couple options. You can shell down into something a little bit cleaner. You can see the logos on that ball starting to transition much earlier than they were the first match. Or she could go right and throw it faster. We saw Hope Gramley do that. Or she can parallel left and see if having just a tad bit more volume will allow this ball to still shape the correct way through the pins. If I were Lauren, I would be choosing that 3rd option, parallel left, keep the same shape. You know you're going to have bounce to your right. Where do I find hold to my left?
A little bit of a different start to match number 2 here. Just 1 strike between these 2 competitors. belongs to Russo, who is going to remain, at least at the moment, in the conspiracy. It's a good look. And lazy again, and this time the laziest of the lazy. And the 7-10, which has been a, I hate to say typical leave this week, but it's been up a lot.
Yeah, it comes with the territory of a higher scoring pattern. We're able to hit the pocket so much that when we do make a mistake, it could be more penalizing. Like, you're going to end up with pins that are far apart. So you knew when your ball was doing the right thing, and you also knew when your ball was doing the very wrong thing.
Wow. I gotta say, that was slightly unexpected there, Sid.
Yeah, it appeared to me like she liked it. I didn't hate it.
Good look.
Ball simply deflects. Doesn't quite continue through the pins. She gets the count. Big considering the fact that Lauren also had an open there. Now just a 3-pin deficit for Jane, when Lauren realistically has had a much better game through these first 4 frames.
Always interesting how that turns. We don't often hear or say that Jane Sin with no strikes through 4 frames. But that is the situation. And another good one. She's thrown 2 really good ones on the left lane, and that one definitely draws the smile, as you can see, but the smile that we love, that's we've seen that smile from other players today, especially when the carry started to get a little iffy.
Yeah, you're just trying to hold it together. It's the most difficult thing about bowling is you can throw it the absolute best that you can, no doubt. You know in your heart and soul, that's the best that I got. And still the result is not what you expected.
Good news is back-to-back 10 pins on the left lane. And there's the switch right there. So hybrid 2.0 coming up for Lauren Russo, Baldwin, Missouri native. Originally from Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. Part of a bowling family, of course, married to Matt Russo, collegiate national champion at Weber, PBA champion as well. He's had a fantastic season. Lauren trying to add a title today. That looked pretty good. What'd that shot tell you, Sid?
Well, she didn't love the result of it either, like meaning what it did through the pins. And, you know, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got was right here in this building. I was talking to Carolyn Dorn-Ballard, and she said, you know, Sid, they don't all have to be dead through the 8-9. And that's probably the advice I would give to Lauren right now, too, is we don't have to overthink it. Just get up and make another good shot on this left lane. Take your chances. Because the ball motion was better.
Nearly a 4-9 and now just a 9-pin.
As players got into those more quick response bowling balls, it was a matter of, okay, when I get it to the right, what is my bowling ball going to do? Is it going to oversee it? Because that's what this one did. She gets it there early. We've seen this left lane have a more defined hook spot, I would say, than the right. And it does oversee it, lucky not to leave a 4-9.
A wry smile there from Lauren. Wanted to make sure she grabbed that one. Still just a 3-pin deficit for Jane Sin. I'm sure if you would ask Jane Sin, hey Jane, if you had no strikes, one open through the first 5 frames, yet you'd be trailing by 3, would you believe it? I don't think she would. Pin finally out of there.
I believe that's a slight move to the right, not standing perfectly behind her. She at least shut her angles down. And ultimately, I like Jane's chances of winning this match only because the straighter that she is through the front part of the lane, the more predictable it is. Where Lauren's going at the friction, Jane's using it. So if Lauren gets it there too late or too soon, she can have like big splits that happen where Jane is going to have these single pin spares that she leaves.
Could she be the first to double? Yes, she will. Jane Sin. So moves. And just like that, it's taking the lead. 6 into the 10, the fist pump. Confident shot there. Well, that could be dangerous, certainly. Which means it's almost go time here for Lauren Russo. Knowing your opponent now feels pretty good about their look.
Mm-hmm.
Russo. Light mixer, the 7 goes.
.0 hybrid right now, a little long. She did skip a ball, in theory, right in between her 2.0 hybrid and her conspiracy. She does have a Black Widow Ghost. Ghost, same core as the 2.0 hybrid, but the ball is going to be overall smoother.
Back score for Russo right now, 226. Oh, and another. Lauren Russo battling. Her second career stepladder finals appearance. Now making a show in back-to-back years.
That appeared to be a move to the left for Lauren on the left lane only.
Now back to Jane Sin from Malaysia. International champion. She's won a ton outside of this country, and she's won twice in the United States and looking to make it 3. Best shot of the match there. She has got the angles now figured out, it looks like, Sid.
Yeah, that shot right there was telling for Jane. It was left off of her hand. Angles very shut down. You know, she's at the arrows at 5.6, and down lane at the rangefinder, she's at an 8.9. If that one held, she could have this sigh of relief, like, oh, okay, I'm doing the right thing, and it did.
Sin now back in the lead. 7-pin advantage. Foundation. Bang. Wow. We talked about this very type of game earlier, Sid, with Jane Sin, with Sherry Tan. Lauren Russo had a game like this as you watched this shot. The first half of the game, right, it just looked like not going your way, but they did not give away pins. And here she is. the advantage. Russo trying to apply the pressure, trailing by 17. Must have. Oh. She has got the 6 into the 10 like perfection.
If there's one thing the young women who want to bowl out on tour are getting from this match right now, it's that patience and belief in what you're doing are the most important thing. Right, with Lauren, she had trust in her and her team to make a change. You know, I think we were 4 frames in against one of the best players in the world. You have to have belief in that. The belief in yourself comes before the win. So hats off to Lauren for that one.
Cawley to our right, getting a look at this pair. Russo, first shot, 10th frame. Oh, wow, again. This time the 6 just kind of lazily falls. On the 10, the 7 got out late as well. Again, Russo's max is 226. She cannot shut out Jane Sin, but she can apply a full court press. This one here forces Jane Sin to double. Oh, wow. Really good shot. Wraps a 10 pin. And now that max is, of course, 215.
Always the question when I get it right early, what's it going to do through the pins? That was the difference between our leaders this week and the people who hung out around the cut number. For Lauren, overall, an extremely well-bowled game. Committed to the change in the 5th frame.
Jane Sin got to have the first one. Love that. How about a mark? Oh, well, and there it is. What are you talking about coming back from 3 frames, really 4, that just did not look Jane Sin-like.
Yeah, we had that first frame where she definitely lost it off of her hand. And then the other, you know, the 2 wrap 10s are great shots. Not a lot you can do about those. But the other 2, unexpected, especially after watching practice. Seemed like she got with her tour team out here, made a slight move to the right, and from there, no questions asked. One of the best players in the world.
To make it official, needs 7. 8 looks pretty all right to me. Jane Sin is your winner. Defeats Lauren Russo. There's the first look at the first strike in the 10th, and you see the reaction.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the cues out of the
We've been talking about players who don't often show emotion, or at least we don't see them show it. And we have seen Sherry Tan show emotion in recent weeks. You just saw what that shot meant, obviously, to Jane Sin. That was a bit of a grind, right, Sid?
It was, yeah. And I think it was Hope Gramley that I saw this week. She said, I didn't think I was going to be grinding for 220. But that is exactly what we had to do out here this week, no doubt about it. When we saw the picture, clearly strikes were heavily available to us. But when the picture wasn't as clear, it was possible to have 710s to go through the face. Sherry Tan is going to get a look here at this pair as she awaits her match. However, our next match will be between Verity Crawley and
And bowling
Lee
fans,
Jane
we have
Sim.
a special presentation for Miss Lauren Russo.
All right. From the wonderful host here, Chris James, who's been giving out wonderful bouquets of flowers. And there's actually a little bit of not only flowers, but a bit of a trophy as well for each participant, not just the champion here this week. For every event, they've got 5 worth and not just the 1. All right, folks, our semifinal is coming up next. Verity Crawley, who won her first title in these very lanes here inside Smyrna Bowling Center. The number 2 seed hits the lanes next, but first a word from Lane Talk. And on the other side, it'll be time for our second giveaway, courtesy of Brunswick.
Got some exciting news.
We now have a pro subscription
for bowlers who really want to take their game to the next level.
The biggest thing, you can tag and label each game.
Whenever you use a ball, whatever oil pattern that you're on,
You can now track the ball's performance and compare balls side by side.
it is incredibly powerful and it is going to help you analyze your game.
Try Lane Talk Pro free for 1 month. Upgrading the app, and we'll see you on Lane Talk.
Semifinal coming up next again, and it's time for our second bowling ball giveaway of the evening. Thanks to, again, wonderful partners here with Brunswick. Again, Brunswick, if you would like a new Brunswick bowling ball, I would suggest you get an opportunity. You will have that chance in just a little bit. Again, same rules apply. All you have to do is get out of full screen mode. That's the first thing you're doing if you're watching in full screen, which is always great, but you can't participate in the giveaway if you're watching in full screen. So please step out of that for a moment. Watch for the prompts on the lower left side of your screen. Once the first countdown concludes, you'll then be prompted to click Submit Entry. And that is all you have to do to be a part of the bowling ball giveaway, again, courtesy of Brunswick. That is all you have to do. Click Submit Entry, and that is all you have to do to be eligible for the bowling ball giveaway. Larry has already won one today, courtesy of a hammer. We'll have one more prior to the championship match, and that will be courtesy, of course, of Storm. All right, Sydney Brummett watching Sherry Tan again. The same rules apply for Sherry Tan. She gets a couple shots, of course, on this championship pair. First for her. Where is Sherry Tan at this point? What's she thinking about?
Just which bowling ball is going to go through the pins the best on this pair. We saw her rifle through quite a bit of equipment in the match play, seeing which was the best on each of the pairs that she bowled on. She's going to do that same thing here.
Of course, now for Verity Crawley, already getting a look at one bowling ball. She will have another opportunity and several more shots. Eternity Pie is something that Verity often began with on the fresh, but of course already a couple matches into the step ladder. And so we may not see that piece. Might be in the Infinite Physics, an Ion Pro, and or a Hustle PBR for Verity. Don't forget to submit entry.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and find out what that is, because it doesn't exactly look like any of those pieces. To me, it looks like something cleaner, which would not be a surprise based on what we saw from Lauren. She more than likely was going to learn from that. That's who she's going to be most similar to. It is confirmed none of those pieces is an IQ Tour. Sometimes as players, we don't really know like what we're going to throw during a TV finals, because the lanes transition differently. They transition differently in every round of the tournament when you go from qualifying to the round of, cashier's round at a standard event, or our rounds of 12 here for match play at a classic series, and then to the TV finals. None of them are the same because the bowlers dictate what the lanes do, and you have a different group of people.
Congratulations to Graydog44 of that username. You got yourself a Brunswick bowling ball. Big thanks to Brunswick, of course. And if you heard it earlier, Gray Dog, don't forget, be checking your email. Give it about a week or so, but don't forget about it, but do check it. You'll be hearing from the marketing team, and they'll get you all the details necessary so you can get your Brunswick bowling ball of choice. And again, thank you to Brunswick.
All right, bowling fans, here we go.
Let's look at the upcoming schedule. Again, the rest of the week, the Bowl TV Classic begins tomorrow here at the Smyrna Bowling Center. The third event of the Classic Series will be the Music City Classic. That will start in a couple of days. Then on to Southern Indiana and Blackettson Bowl. And the U.S. Women's Open, the second major of the season at Royal Penn Woodland in mid-June. And, of course, the Striking Against Breast Cancer mixed doubles event, PBA, PWBA, also known as the Lucy. At the end of July, the Cool Jonesboro Trios featuring PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA players late July into early August. And then the season concluding Tour Championship Week at Thunder Bowl in Allen Park, Michigan, August 6th through the 13th. Verity Crawley is elected for Jane Sin to begin the match. She opened with a 2-pin. Last match on the left lane. What does she do here? Bang! 2-pin that time.
Chatting with Verity's tour team before we started, she is going to start with the Ion.
Ion Pro for Verity Crawley. First shot. The player with the largest fan base here. I want to hug the gutter. And that's kind of the one thing we've been talking about, where to play. And a good look at that one right there. It was close to overhook. And right through the face, and thankfully leave something makeable. Good opening spare for Verity Crawley, the 29-year-old two-time champion. Of course, from England, home center, the Kegel Training Center, something Sydney Brummett now knows a ton about.
It's a great place to be.
18th stepladder finals appearance in her career since 2017, her rookie season. Message delivered.
There is a man over here giving snaps when people strike.
Well, speakeasy.
And this man might be my favorite fan now.
I'll tell you what my favorite fan is that messenger right there. Jane Sin, who had a flurry to end the match against Lauren Russo. A 5-bagger late, and they looked just like that late in the match. And once she got her angles together, she was off to the races. Got the first one in the 10th, needed some count.
A little birdie told me that some surface may have been adjusted on Jane's ball in between our matches here. Players are allowed to do that. They usually collaborate with their tour team, decide what's best, and then move forward.
Talks about Jane Sin not doubling until frame 6 and 7. She's already handled that here. Looking for 3 in a row. Bang! now very much starting to look like the Jameson we've seen so far these first couple of days here in Nashville, and certainly the one who won the Bowling Journal Rockford Open.
No doubt about that. You know what I just realized? We have an all-international final.
That is correct. England, Malaysia, and of course the winner will meet Sherry Tan of Singapore. Back to Cawley. Looking for a double of her own, and has it. 8-pin thought about it for a moment and said,
It's not often we see Verity with shutdown angles with something other than urethane, but you can see there, straight up the boards, nothing crazy going on. She's doing that because she wants to find hold.
This is the look that we feel that Verity certainly was rolling through during a match play this afternoon. Of the boards, up and at 'em. Resulted in games of 228, 269, 256, 266 for the first 4. Again. So far, semifinal looking good right now. Sid, what's the biggest difference between the start of this match and the start of our previous match with Jane Sin and Lauren Russo?
Lauren was shaping the ball much more than both Jane and Verity are choosing to. And so it can create quite a bit of transition for the players. Jane, through the back half of that match, shut her angles down quite a bit. Lucky there to only leave a 6-pin. We saw a big 4 standing for a second.
The epitome of a 4-2 break right there. For Jane Sin, just a makeable spare. It's been so dynamite, of course, just throughout qualifying and match play. Jane qualified 4th for match play, which began this morning. Averaging 233 during the 12 games of qualifying. Wow. Now that is something you don't see every day. Players are certainly human, but a mistake early for Jane Sin.
It's incredible how as players we know almost as soon as it's off of our hands. Oftentimes for a player the caliber of Jane, it's a matter of a lack of focus, being in the moment, maybe thinking about the next shot or why that one wasn't what you wanted it to be, and it can cause you to stray away from, I want to slide here and hit this target.
Now she trails by 13 after the open in the 4th, looking to get back on track in the 5th. You bet.
I think that's how it always goes. Like whiff an easy spare and ace the next one. You're like, oh, okay, pass self. Do better.
What would you be telling yourself in that moment?
Exactly what I just said to you.
What would I say?
Well, I can't read your mind.
All right. I thought you were going to guess.
I'm not very creative in that way. Usually I'm just talking to myself while I'm bowling. My mom was taking some content for me yesterday, and I was just singing the whole day.
Verity looking to take advantage, and does. Verity with 4 in a row. Right Now the only miscue is from Jane Sin in the fourth. Sixth frame.
Off of V's hand, I kind of cringed a little bit because it was in front of her more than the others have been. And when you're playing that straight and you're in the volume, there's a likelihood you could 210. The only thing I can equate this to, please, this pattern is much more difficult than house. The ladies are talented, but the only thing I can equate it to is how you feel when you're bowling on house pattern and the ball hooks too much and you make a move and then you buck it and you're like, what did I just do?
Oh boy. The trade-off of single pin whiffs on our semifinal match. Wow. Don't worry, Sid. I'm not going to ask you what you would do in that situation.
Strike more. I know what I would do. I'd strike more. If you strike enough, spares may not matter as much.
Well, Sin now just trailing by 10 and gets a nice tap on the 7. Again, things you just wouldn't have on the bingo card. Jane Sin and Verity Crawley would both miss a single pin as we get a look at Jane Sin there in the 6th. Got ourselves an even match at the moment. Frame 7. And that one, certainly a little flat.
Overall, a good shot. The left lane has been the tricky one for our players. So in this case, you make a good shot and you leave a single pin and you make it. It's that simple. You know your opponent may make a mistake that will allow you that hit to be okay.
All right, back on it. Verity, a collegiate standout at Weber International, will step up with a, at the moment, 1 pin advantage. You see your score up top. Approach from Verity. And a 10 pin, so the 10 pin blues all of a sudden, Sid.
Yeah, it can happen. You know, same thing happened with Lauren. Ball starts to hook a tad bit early. We are bowling on terrain oil, which can make you feel like you have to move, but then you move and your ball doesn't hook down lane. So I personally like this oil because I throw it slow. And so ball will do the right thing. But if you're somebody who's more firm and more forward, like Verity, sometimes it cannot be your friend when it comes to carry.
The old pat on the back. We love that. Lead remains 1 for Crawley. She can advance to the title match. This would be, or is, her second show of the year. If she can get to the title match, it'd be her second opportunity at a title this year. And shots like that will get it done. trio with some front row seats.
Yeah, happy they're all here this week. We know that Daria had a bit of a scare, so realistically, we're a big community out here. It's always nice to see someone come back like Jane, who had a little bit of a hiatus. Probably not from striking. She was probably doing a lot of that when she wasn't on tour, but thankful that Daria made the return after a scare from an injury.
Well, that's pretty much what Jane Sin told us in Rockford. That she was still bowling at a very, very high level competitively. And so she was sharp. Yeah, she's the type of player, obviously, where, and Esther Chia, also from Malaysia, they are traveling together this season. They'll be out here for the vast majority, but they're not making that trip unless they're sharp and ready to go. Foundation. Another one. Well, Verity in control. She's in the shutout situation. She will finish the match first. And simply put, at the moment, strikes in the 9th and all 3 in the 10th, she will shut out Jane Sin by a pin. We love easy math. Quick tease, folks, but we will have one more bowling ball giveaway between matches, courtesy of Storm. The deep breath, the exhale. On the lane, foundation for Verity. Indeed.
That was probably one of the best shots I've seen Verity throw this year. That is no exaggeration. She came back after her last shot on the left lane and emulated what she was trying to do with her hand. It was essentially be absolutely forward and use every ounce of hand that I have. And she's doing that. It's impressive to watch because I don't think that's a skill that she had coming into this season. And that's why she's been so clutch on the fresh throughout the first couple of events.
Again, all 3 in the 10th for Verity. She will win by 1. First one, 10th frame. Oh, wow. Maybe. Roll it. No. The rack saves what could have been simply miraculous. But she does avoid disaster.
Right as I talk about that forward hand, she gets it to the right early. Ball locks up. Deflects through the 9-pin. Lucky to get a late tap on the 7 there.
Cawley now. Spare strike to get it at 226. All right. It's Phil's shot of utter importance for Verity Cawley. Strike here forces Jane Sin to throw the first one in the 10th. Big shot. Wow. Oh my. Back-to-back situations there in the 10th frame on the left lane. Sydney Brummett, 224 for Verity Cawley.
Yeah, both players right now are in a must-strike situation purely because of those 9 dashes that we have on the board. Each frame has a life and history of its own.
Spare strike sends a winner by 1. But there it is. Jane Sin. Another one. Another great shot. The first one in the 10th. And she is on.
The emotion from Jane right now is, it's giving. I like it.
Again, we just don't see that type of emotion. But this is why you live for these moments. You live for stepladder finals appearances. You live to bowl for championships. This is why she's one of the best in the world. 5 needed. 9 is certainly good. And Jane Sin winning back-to-back matches over Lauren Russo and now Verity Cawley, and will face Sherry Tan, the #1 seed from Singapore, for the Greater Nashville Classic title.
I can appreciate her. You know, some people would be like, oh, why isn't she trying a different ball? I can appreciate that she's going to shoot her spare. You know, gather a little confidence in spare shooting. Even though it was just one missed spare from Jane, it can feel like a million to a player of her caliber.
Great job by Verity Cawley to really have an opportunity to defend a championship. Won her first title in this building, and she will finish 3rd. That is a very, very good start to the week, of course, for Verity. But now, ladies and gentlemen, the #1 seed, Sherry Tan, the winner of 4 PWBA titles, recently celebrated her 36th birthday earlier this month. Looking to win title #5 and make it 5 for 5 as the #1 seed, which really is almost unheard of. We will talk more about that in just a little bit. But first, a word from proud gold partner Storm, and on the other side of that word, our 3rd and final bowling ball giveaway, again courtesy of Storm. The championship match next on Bowl TV.
What is it about bowling that captivates us so much? Mastery of the game is impossible, but perfection is just within reach. Success seems to lie 60 feet ahead, but the real battle takes place 6 inches between your ears. So if no matter how many times you fail, you would still do anything, and I mean anything, just to get 1% better. We know exactly how you feel. What is it about bowling?
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The championship match is near. It will be #1 seed Sherry Tan of Singapore versus Jane Sin, the #3 seed. And Jane coming off fantastic wins, both of those having to perform in the 10th to solidify her spot here in the championship match. First and foremost, Sid, how about the performance so far from Jane Sin and the emotion that has come along with it?
That's what stuck out to me the most. I've had the pleasure of bowling next to her for 24 total games now on tour this year, and I don't think I've seen that much collective emotion that we saw in the last 2 games in those 24. So her bringing that to this match, I think, is the extra fire and heart that she needs to overcome the challenges and the adversity that she's seeing on this pair. Ultimately, I truthfully don't know how much of a chance she has against Sherry, simply because of how impressive it's been to watch her bowl throughout, the the 12 games yesterday. I had Jane to my left and Sherry to my right. I was watching greatness for 12 games.
Surrounded.
I was surrounded.
All right, folks, I mentioned it. Our final bowling ball giveaway courtesy of Storm. Same rules apply. If you're in full screen, get out of there so you can see what's happening and make sure you're available to enter the prompts. Be looking at the countdown below. You'll have the opportunity to submit your entry. That's all you got to do to be successful, at least have a chance. I can't guarantee success because Lord knows there's plenty of you out there who have yet to win. But the only way to have a chance is to click submit entry. You have to imagine that Jane is going to continue to throw this magic gem, correct? Is that right?
Yes, and I saw her tour rep, Rob Gottschall, ask her. And I think this is really important for the viewers at home to know, because there were a lot of myths about ball reps when I was coming out on tour. But he asked her, do you want to hit this again? We see the ball reps doing the work for the players. We kind of presume they're helping or they're making the decisions. I would say they aid with our decision making more than anything, but ultimately it's up to us, the players, to make the final choice in what we're going to do and commit to it. So she did want to hit that ball again. I'm not sure with what Abralon pad they chose, but it did look like more surface than what it was by the end of the game.
Submit entry is available, folks. If you don't see it, try to refresh. That's a good question there, James. Where is Kim? But she did win a T-shirt recently. I think Kim was bowling the women's championships.
I hope she bowled good.
Final shots here for Sherry Tan. So for Sherry Tan, Azalea, by the way, congratulations. You got yourself a Storm bowling ball of choice. Again, watch your email in the coming weeks from the Bowl TV marketing squad. Figure out all of the details necessary to get you the Storm bowling ball of choice. Again, congratulations and thank you for watching Bowl TV. For Sherry Tan, I had a chance to talk with their rep, speaking of, prior to, and get an opportunity to see which ball she might throw. They mentioned gym, reality, physics. There's a gym right there. We've seen the exponent a little bit today, actually, earlier during match play. Azalea, can't believe she won. I feel you, Azalea. I have yet to win myself. I keep pressing submit entry too, and nothing happens for me, Sid. So
I relate to that. I used to enter all the giveaways before I joined the team. I do rack up points.
it could be a couple of gyms. This match is certainly going to be a gym. Well, Sid, if you recall,
All right, Smyrna, here we go. The title match. Who wins the first title of the week?
late in match play this afternoon, Jane Sin and Sherry Tan had a battle.
They did. I remember.
And it was a one-pin battle that Jane Sin came out on top, 259 to 258 in match play earlier today. Jane Sin finished with a 10-2 match play record, but Sherry Tan is looking to go wire to wire. Looking to make it 5 for 5, folks, as the #1 seed. All 4 of her previous titles have come from that seed. She knows how to get it done. Southpaw. And a wrap 7 early for the 36-year-old lefty. She's won a title in each of the last 2 seasons. 2023 Stockton Open, 2022 Bold TV Classic, which, by the way, does begin tomorrow. On what network? Oh, yeah, you guessed it. Bold TV. Cue our kick shot on our new fancy machine.
I'll encourage you to watch 43 and 44. I don't know who bowls there, but you'll see some good messengers on that pair.
And that is the next event. It's going to quick turnaround for these players, of course. They'll be back at it in the morning. Brand new pattern. And we'll talk about that certainly tomorrow morning. When we get a champion to crown here at the Greater Nashville Classic. Jane Sint, can she get off to such the great start that she did in the previous match against Verity Crawley? That's a great one. It is now 8 of 14 on the right lane across 2 matches.
Important to note that, yeah, the ball reps and Jane decided to hit it with more surface. Ended up being a light 500 that they put on that piece, but she did not get any shots with that. So players will have to know, okay, my ball's going to hook sooner, or I have to make a move to account for that added surface.
Looking for the early double here in the title match, and gets it.
That forepin didn't know which way it wanted to fall, left or right, or just wanted to fall down.
Who will win this match? The poll, you guys voted. 62% said Sherry Tan, the #1 seed. You literally couldn't go wrong with either of these players, whichever one you were to choose today. Okay, we got a little crowd action too. Starting to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what a title match should be.
Love to see it. But there's a big youth presence here this week for this event. Bowling Center has an enormous youth program. As we watch this shot from Sherry, and they want to be like the women out here on tour. You know, the youth bowlers, when the collegiate sectionals are here, they sponsor a team. One team gets a sponsor from their youth program, and it's like one of the coolest things in all of college bowling. And they've kind of done the same thing here this week. They've attached themselves to a player and just watched them throughout the entirety of the event.
Dan to double. All right, and the left lane has readed now 2 weak 7 pins. See, one was a wrap 7, I beg your pardon, in frame 1, and that one a flat 7 in frame 3. It's a good look at it, Sid.
Yeah, the left lane has hooked more for our right-handed friends. And as silly as it sounds, typically when it hooks more for people who are right-handed, it hooks less for people who are left-handed. It's some kind of magic, but that's how it goes. So wouldn't be surprised to see Sherry square up her angles a tad bit on the left lane.
It's been an interesting evening regarding a few single pins.
Well, we haven't had to shoot very many.
Hey, you got that right.
So
Did not get the normal amount of practice.
No, the reps were not very many throughout qualifying and match play. If you were shooting a lot of them, you probably weren't making the step ladder final. They were high scoring because the women are so good.
Jane Sin. Bang. Again. And starting the way she started the semifinal match against Verity Crawley with the front three.
I said Sherry was going to be hard to beat. And I didn't know, because I can't see the future, that Jane's ball reaction was going to get better. I didn't see that happen with her during qualifying. As the fronts blew open, she waffled a bit between which bowling balls to throw, but here she's been decisive. Seen the picture clearly.
And 4 in a row for Jane Sin as she slaps it out.
That was a little hip bump from the 6-pin. For Sherry at this point, starting to feel like, okay, I gotta get going.
Great shot again, but the right lane so far hasn't been the issue. It's the left lane that's been the problem so far. Big shot already, 5th frame. There it is. What subtle difference do you think that was, Sherry? Or excuse me, Sid?
You know, if I'm Sherry, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
like,
that's
she's pretty good. I just got upgraded. Is that what it feels like in a video game where you level up? That was nice. She was straighter through the front part of the lane. It was that simple. I was a little nervy when I knew that that's what she was going to do, only because we saw Shannon Pluhowsky on that left lane have a bit of trouble when she got it in front of her.
A good run early for Jane Sin, 4-pin. $19-pin lead. But you know Sherry Tan is not going away. The #1 seed. The often talk about,
Listen, we're just trying our best out here. As long as you make the spare, it doesn't really matter how it falls down, I think. Or at least that's what we're telling ourselves as the athletes.
So we referenced this early during match play when talking about Shannon Pluhowsky, of course, and Jane Sin. But Jane Sin is the current leader in points on the PWBA Tour.
While missing an event.
While missing an event is correct. And everything in front of the 7-0. Able to connect. Very small lead over Kelly Kulik Obviously, we had a great run at the Queens. And then Shannon Pluhowsky third, Hope Gramley fourth, Lindsay Boomershine fifth on the points list coming into it. You can see everything go in front of the 7-pin. And no contact made.
Yeah, I talked a bit about it the last match, but Jane really only had 2 misses that I saw this week, and it was tugged or missed it at the bottom. That one I would go more towards she missed it at the bottom, so the ball doesn't want to continue through the pins as well as she'd prefer, but leaves an easy single pin spare.
Here's Sherry Tan. Trailing by 18. Gonna cut that deficit. And nearly perfect on the right lane, but again the 7-pin. This is the only pin she's left so far here.
Not a lot wrong with that shot from Sherry. Could have been a bit firm. Could have missed it at the bottom. Could have made a move she didn't need to. There are a lot of options.
The option right now, of course, is to continue to remain clean. After the really good start from Jane Sin. Jane looking to make it, again, 2 titles in 4 events. Pin deficit for Sherry Tan. We are already halfway home here in this title match. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett. Chase Kaufman are on the 1s and 2s. Number 1 seed Sherry Tan, number 3 seed Jane Sin locked in a battle. The title match of the Greater Nashville Classic. Feels like a must strike already. Great shot.
Yeah, because you never know when Jane is just going to not miss again.
Some subtle differences between shots, but on the left lane specifically, she's made carbon copies in the last 2. Back to Jane. Oh, that light mixer. I love Jane Sin's facial expressions.
She raised her eyebrows like, okay, well, here we go.
I mean, just up and at 'em, of course. Playing the lanes front to back. Not doing anything that the pattern asks you not to do. The epitome of just taking what the pattern says. Both she and Sherry Tan so good at that. Extend. Bang. Boy, that was a championship-like winning shot right there.
That shot applies quite a bit of pressure to Sherry here as we move into her 8th frame.
For Sherry Tan, it's a simple formula. She's got to strike in the 8th and 9th. Your opponent can max at 268. To have any chance, you feel like she's got to have him here. 8th frame. And the 6-pin for Sherry Tan, and it just feels like Sid. Jane Sin from Malaysia, now inching closer as we get a look at Sherry Tan on the right lane.
Gets left early. It's the same idea as our friends on the right side of the lane. When you get it to the friction early, it may overhook. It did just that.
Now trailing by 29, which feels like 80 pins at this point watching Jane Sin compete here. Again, the last couple of matches, right? 221 and a victory over Lauren Russo in a close match, and 235 to 224. And in position, speaking of Jane Sin, for this to be her highest game here in the stepladder finals, and of course, when you need it most. But first, Sherry Tan, 9th frame. There's a good one. And 3 in a row that looks so perfect on the left lane.
And she chose to finish the match on this right lane. Interesting choice there for her, more than likely in hindsight.
Well, Jane Sin is about to step up. The ball firmly in her court. The shutout situation is there. Another one. Wow. Jane Sin. Not taking no for an answer, folks. 6 pins from becoming the first 2-time winner on tour. And she's going to be here a lot, folks, this season. You talk about player of the year. Could be looking at her. Jane Sin to clinch her 2nd title of the season. Indeed, Lee Jane Sin, a champion again here in 2024.
That's what you want out of a shot when you need it. You know, mathematically, she only needed 6 pins that shot, but as a player, you're like, I want to make this one really good because I'm going to remember it for a long time.
That's peeling. Well, if you go back to the match against Lauren Russo, well, the first 4 frames, it just wasn't sure what was going to happen for Jane Sin. And then to turn it around in frame 6 of that match, went on to win it, needed the first one in the 10th, and good count. Then in another close match against Verity Cawley, again, handled it in the 10th frame. Boy, Jane Sin. Wow. That's her 2nd title of the season, folks. And it's title number 3 overall. And for the first time as the number 1 seed, Sherry Tan will fall. She gets some love in the back, of course, from Daria Paya, Diana Zavjalova, Esther Chia, of course, from Malaysia, and her touring mate, Dana Ung, watching as well. Sherry Tan will finish things out here. Bowl TV Classic, folks, again begins tomorrow. There'll be a little bit of time for Jane Sin to slightly celebrate, if you will. A quick turnaround, new event, new pattern. Tomorrow, and we'll talk more about that, of course, before we depart. But final shot for Sherry Tan. It's rare for Sherry Tan to be on this end of it, but Jane Sin. .257, 250, or sorry, 257, 208. And we'll have an official presentation.
For our championship presentation, we do have a presentation for Ms. Tan. Mr. Chris James, the general manager here of the Bowling Center.
On behalf of all the staff here at Smyrna, Robin and her staff, congratulations.
This is the second time we've seen you here this season. How does it feel? I'm incredible, happy. Second title of the season, your third overall. You are leading the Player of the Year race. How do you keep this momentum up? I just hope I will. I would like to thank. I would like to thank. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 PWBA Grand Nashville Classic Champion, Ms. Shannon. Thank you all for coming out. We are back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the PWBA Bowl TV Classic. Thank you all for coming out this evening. Stick around, and we hope to see you throughout the week. Be safe.
Jane Sin will join us here. All right, we'll have Jane Sin here momentarily. We can repeat and get a good glimpse, of course, and listen in on what Jane Sin just discussed. Sydney Brummett, of course, along with us as well. All right, folks, here we go. The opportunity, of course, exists once again for Jane Sin. Jane, first of all, can you hear us?
Yes.
Excellent. Congratulations. We just had this conversation a couple of weeks ago in Rockford. It was still fresh at that point. Obviously, you come back the first time back out on tour since 2019, and now you're the first two-time champion, the first person to win a couple of times on the tour in 2024. What ultimately was the difference that got you and allowed you to get to this point on this pattern, this 45-foot pattern this week?
Actually, as I say, I keep things simple, and I'm glad that Rob and Steve helped me out a lot on the lanes. I think we got the ball matched up with the pattern. I think that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm.
Did you throw that particular ball? I believe it was a Jam.
Magic Jam.
Magic Jam, the majority of the time this week?
Yes, during qualifying as well. Magic Jam and also the Iron Pro. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This was a slow start for you. Not this match, obviously, but the opening match against Lauren Russo. And certainly we're not used to seeing you start slow. What was the difference early on against Lauren, and then what kind of triggered things that allowed you to get the 5-bagger and ultimately win, and then, of course, win the title?
We did some changes, like movement, and I guess it worked out very well. And I stayed there for most of the time. Yeah.
In your head, we're gonna make sure we turn me up here. All right. Are we cooking now? Can we hear me? Perfect. Okay. So there was quite a shift, it seemed like, in your emotion in this title win versus Rockford. Can you walk us through the emotion that you showed here and what the difference was?
The difference was, I think I'm a little bit out of words when I won this title. And yeah, it just feels different. Like, it's my first time doing it. Everything is first time, so I'm actually like getting the emotion to sink in, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all.
It was incredible to watch you because I've had the honor of qualifying next to you twice now, so 24 games. And I was amazed by the emotion that you showed here, but then also were composed when you threw your shots. Did you have kind of a way to reset in between each shot that meant a lot?
Yes. We are humans. We are not like machines. Sometimes we do get some bad shots, but that's okay. I would say I embrace my mistakes and take it one shot at a time.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jane. And we'll get you out of here with this one here. You came into this event after a 6th-place finish at the Queens. You win your second title. You were already leading in the PWBA points list. Robin discussed that as well. I know you're going to bowl the majority of the tour. Was winning Player of the Year a goal at any point when you decided to come over and bowl on the PWBA tour?
I would say, actually, I just want to enjoy the tour instead of thinking of winning, because bowling is anybody's game. Anything could happen until the last throw, and actually, winning wasn't the important part. I would say I want to enjoy my journey and make some good memories here. Yeah.
Well, I think you've made a couple of good memories.
Yes, definitely I did.
At this point, congratulations again, Jane. And I know you got to go back at it tomorrow, so we'll let you get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
That is Jane Sin, your most recent champion, folks, the first to win 2 titles here in 2024. We will allow Jane to step out. She's got a few more media responsibilities. Sydney Brummett will hop back into the booth, and we will close this thing out for you. I already know what I'm about to say, but the ability to the ability to just listen to Jane, take it in. Can't help but, again, really appreciate the simplicity of what she wants to do. The ability, of course, for her to, as she just said, enjoy it, not really think about winning. But I appreciate what she is saying. But the reality is, and we've been talking about this for a long time, Sid, when we first started seeing players make their way over, right? How long, if we could see Jane Sin or Sherry Tan stay long enough, they would 100% be factors in the Player of the Year race. That is here.
There's no doubt about it. There have been many times on, my short time on tour where we've said, okay, the players from overseas have gone home now. That's an extra 5, 6, 7 checks that are available to people because there's such high caliber bowlers that we know they're going to put themselves in the position to win. And I'm amazed by her answers to us. The number one thing that she said that stood out to me was, I embrace my mistakes, not I try and shy away from them or I try to reduce them. She never said that. She said, I try to embrace them because I'm human. And yeah, that was my number one takeaway from her today.
That was pretty impressive what we watched. And again, we had to ask just on the mistakes, but she said she got matched up. It was a good conversation she mentioned with Team Storm, Rob Gotcho, Steve Jacobs, as we bring you back into the booth here, Sidney Brummett, Emil Williams Jr., and then rallying it off 5 in a row, ultimately to defeat Lauren Russo, then another close match against Verity Crawley. And then the way it started, it just felt like Sherry Tan had no choice but to try to keep up with the striking train, which generally is what we say about Sherry Tan and that opposite. And it wasn't to be tonight for Sherry Tan, but still a great tournament.
Oh, no doubt. And Sherry has all the momentum going into the rest of the week. This is a classic series. We have 2 more events to look forward to. She's leading the way going into our 3rd stop here. We did give away a title today.
We did.
But she also has some bigger goals, I think, on her plate.
We also gave away 3 bowling balls, folks, so congratulations to all of our winners. We've given away a couple of T-shirts already this week, and we'll have more T-shirts for you tomorrow as we flip the script, folks. Quick turnaround. It's the Bowl TV Classic tomorrow. The medium pattern before we go off the air, Sid, just real briefly, early thoughts on maybe what to expect from the viewer perspective for the Bowl TV Classic.
Whatever you saw today, we're going to flip the script. The word on the street from the tour teams amongst all the staffs is this is going to be the lowest scoring of the 3.
Okay.
And so the players who put themselves in a good position to start out are in a great place. And then we're going to see some people who, if they can figure it out, can fight their way up the leaderboard. So we're going to see, I think, quite a bit of urethane tomorrow go down the lane, and then a big jump to the left, and we'll see the ladies shape it.
All right, folks, it's time to tear it down and get reset for tomorrow's qualifying round. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, for round 1 of qualifying for the PWBA Bowl TV Classic. Tonight, though, Jane Sin, a champion again for the 3rd time overall and the 2nd time so far in 2024. She's the first to reach 2 titles so far this season. Sidney Brummett, fantastic job as always. Good luck tomorrow on the lanes.
Thank you.
All right, for Sidney Brummett, Chase Kaufman, Ben Glasscock, Curtis Von Kruger, Robin Graves, the entire staff, and big thanks to Chris James, the general manager here at Smyrna Bowling Center. My name is Emil Williams Jr. We will see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, for the Bowl TV Classic. Big thanks to the United States Bowling Congress and the Bowling Proprietors Association of America and their respective boards. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the USBC and the PWBA. Thank you to all of our gold partners, especially Brunswick, Storm, and Hammer, for their bowling ball giveaways tonight. Certainly the PWBA athletes and you, the Bowl TV community. We'll see you in the morning, again, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. This has been a presentation of the Stepladder Finals of the Greater Nashville Classic. Jane Sin, a champion again. You watched it live and only on Bowl TV. Remember, bowling lives here. Good night.